You know, the ETFs being delayed is something that everybody's been talking about. So you can see right here. Hi Dan, do you think it is a good time to buy now or wait some more days to get a lower rate and possibly see a good comeback? Andrew Romano, good question. I don't think I'm going to discuss financial advice in this video. And I wanted to bring up I meant to have this article ready for this video. Poseidon Lou just tweeted it a little bit ago. Let me try and find it. Here it is. All right, so as expected, SEC delays VanEck Bitcoin ETF decision until February 27th. So we just saw the SEC document. We read it. But I'll get to this article in a second. But here's the real thread I really wanted to cover that Jake posted 4 months ago. This is when we had like one of the first delays for the VanEck SolidX. So he says, it kills me to tweet about SEC rulemaking procedures, but given the confusion on crypto Twitter today, it feels necessary. Long story short, the SEC can and probably will delay its decision on the VanEck SolidX commodity-backed Bitcoin ETF until February 21st, 2018. So you can see, this was 4 months ago. This guy, Jake, pretty much called it almost spot on. And he posted a whole article with some really good context into it. I'll cruise through it really quick. I don't want to take too much of your time here with this. But some background, he says. Unlike other types of funds, the federal security laws did not originally provide for ETFs. As a result, ETFs have to obtain an individual exemptive order from the SEC before going to market. The timing of the ETF approval process follows a standard formula. And then it goes on, he goes through the formula. So like 45 more days if a longer period is appropriate, 90 more days for the ETF to address grounds for disapproval, 60 more days if, again, a longer period is appropriate. And he goes on. So then he speaks, this was 4 months ago, then he speaks to the VanEck SolidX. So the standard timing for the VanEck SolidX ETF would be, notice was, and I just realized, oh my gosh, I have to update this thumbnail. Notice was originally posted on June 26th. First extension expected. August 10th. Second extension expected. September 24th. 45 days later. Third extension expected. December 23rd. 90 days later. Add 60 days to December 23rd and you get a final deadline of February 21st, 2019. This was 4 months ago. This guy was talking about this. And you can see he was pretty close. This could move forward or back by a few days. Because December 23rd is a Sunday, SEC may be closed on December 24th, but late February is the most likely target for a decision. I understand if Hopium has you thinking, okay, but just because the SEC can delay doesn't mean it will. And sure, that's fine in theory, but I can't imagine the SEC will approve the first ever Bitcoin ETF without taking all the time allowed by law. Sorry, get ready to wait. So this was 4 months ago, and you can see he tweeted, as expected, the SEC has delayed its decision on the VanEck SolidX Bitcoin ETF proposal until the absolute final deadline. Amidst my hurry to get ready to try and get this video out there, I think I screwed up the thumbnail. I meant to put VanEck SolidX delayed. I screwed that thumbnail up, so if you're watching, apologies. I'll update it when I'm done this video. And there she is. There she is.
I wanted to stop and say hi. Hello, everybody. I don't see the...
Yeah, there. It's right there.
The comments, the chat.
Oh, they're over here.
Oh, okay. Hey, guys.
Sarah's just saying hi in this bearish market to offer some encouragement, right?
Yeah, just hold it.
Just hold it. Thank you for not saying hodl, babe. I appreciate that.
Oh.
So, yeah, I know. Relax, okay? Someone said change the thumbnail. It's not back. That's being delayed. I know. I made a screw up as I was rushing to get this video out. Okay, so I'm sorry. We're covering the VanEck SolidX Bitcoin ETF. Get over it. I'll change the thumbnail. I promise once I'm done this video. So you can see Bitcoin Rob said, Sarah, win bottom. So you can see Bitcoin in its clear path. I'm not here to offer financial advice. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Everybody knows, I'm accumulating Bitcoin wherever the price is. We've anticipated prices like this for a while now, so it's not the biggest surprise, right? Obviously, we want a bull market to ensue quicker than later, but we have to be patient in these market cycles, and you can see it on the weekly chart. So Bitcoin on the daily chart, just looking ugly. I'm not even going to spend time doing too much technical analysis with it. Cameron Work, appreciate that, man. $5 super chats. Thanks for being consistent with great content. Keep up the good work. BTC LTC. Appreciate that, Cameron. Thank you so much for that encouragement. Even when I have an inaccurate thumbnail, how dare I do that? You're still $5 super chat. Appreciate that, man. Thanks. So, for me, I do like to do technical analysis on the daily, and I still would like to today. I just don't have time to sit down and mess around with the charts too much. But I did pull up the 4-hour real quick, and if you're just joining us, you can see the 4-hour charts for Bitcoin. This falling wedge broke to the downside, and right now we're really essentially looking for support at that $3,200 area, which was the breakout to the downside targets. And we're right there, right? We wicked down to like 3220. So, in terms of what's going to happen next, I would just encourage you to be careful out there. It's all dependent on your personal situation, right? I was just with eCurrency hodler last night and some others, and we were talking about when to average in and how to do it. It's completely dependent on how much fiat you have and that you can afford to lose, how much you've been, how patient you have been, right? In terms of being ready for really cheap prices in this market with the potential of this crazy pullback that we're in, right? The anticipation of the bear market. This is why on this channel we from the beginning, right? It's easy to be hopeful for a bull market, but we don't like to talk about just the upside on this channel, because for months now we've known that this type of phase could really just come into fruition at any time, and now we're here, and we're at this ugly stage where there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of trash being talked about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and the whole reason why we anticipated that is just so that we can be ready for it, right? So that we can comfortably buy even cheaper Bitcoin and Litecoin. A buddy of mine has been, I've been meeting up with him over the course of this whole year, and we were talking about how he keeps wanting to buy, but he's watching the charts with me, right? And he's just like, I might wait to get into this cryptocurrency thing until it goes lower, because the possibilities are there. He took a chance by waiting, right? And now he is way cheaper prices than if he bought at a higher price. So sometimes patience pays off in a bear market. And the way Bitcoin moves, I don't think anybody's going to be immediately left in the dust if you are out there and you are waiting to accumulate. If you're new on this live stream right now, I understand the backed thumbnail is wrong. I will update it once I'm done this live stream. I was in a hurry to create a quick thumbnail in Photoshop, and I said backed instead of VanEck. But yes, we covered that. Here it is. This is the SEC statements. Designates February 27, 2019 as the day by which the commission shall either approve or disapprove the proposed rule change, and that is talking about VanEck SolidX. So this dude's pretty good, man. Jake Chervinsky, pretty on point with his analysis and really his coverage of the VanEck SolidX, and a lot of people being let down by this news, but if you really read through a thread that he posted 4 months ago, he really breaks down why end of February really was the target anyway. I think a lot of people just kind of hopeful for better news, which is normal, especially in cryptocurrency market, but maybe unrealistic. So we'll see what happens. But as always, man, I hope everybody's doing good out there. I do want to I'll end with this, which is to just take note real quick on the daily chart. If I can bring up the daily chart, this overextension from the 50 EMA. Very important for me to keep track of that. So here's a 200 EMA, this purple line up here. And so far, as of today, we are around 50, it looks like around 50% overextended from the 50 EMA. And I definitely want to do this, which is to go back in time. I want to go back in time, not draw all over my chart. And let's see. I mean, the most overextended we've been from the 200 EMA, besides where we are right now, is literally the bottom of the last bear market, where we were 57% overextended from the 200 EMA. It's a huge question. It's a huge question I've had on my mind for months now, and I can't believe we're 7% away from testing that same type of oversold territory, that overextension territory. We're so close. I can't even believe it. I remember we were 20 to 30% overextended from the 200 EMA multiple times, but we had a nice bounce. This time is true capitulation type of movement. And we can go back to today's daily. 57% would be the most overextended Bitcoin's been since that bear market bottom a few years ago, and that would be right around a $2,700 Bitcoin. So we're really only $500 away from that, 7% away from that area. That is going to be an incredible area to watch. Not because I'm expecting a bounce and I'm expecting Bitcoin to follow the same exact trajectory, but really because it will be interesting to see if it actually breaks that and we get even more overextension. We get into this even more oversold environment. And if you pair that up with the story of all these institutional investors getting into Bitcoin, right, throughout 2018, getting ready, and where we are now and these prices being just taken down, it makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder. Is it being done purposely, right? How much is it? We know it's being manipulated, but how much so that these institutional investors can just get some cheap Bitcoin before things really take off for cryptocurrency in general. There's mixed. I was at a table last night with cryptocurrency enthusiasts, if you want to call them, and there was mixed agreement between, will we ever see a 2017 parabolic type of run scenario, and will we not, right? Was that the last time that's ever going to happen? Bitcoin potentially might see a slow growth over the years, to be a really solid investment, but will we ever see a parabolic move? That's the question. Nobody knows. Time will tell. That's why we're here, right? This is risky business. If you're here and you think this is a sure thing, a sure win, please be very careful. That's definitely not how any markets work, especially cryptocurrency, especially with all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt and the manipulation going on in the space. There's so much uncertainty right now. But if there's one thing that I can end with and tell you that I am certain of, it is the fact that there are cryptocurrency and there are blockchain startups. They are building. They are building right now, and they are hiring, and they are building their teams, and they are working on the technology, and they are more excited than ever right now. And price, we're talking over the course of all of 2018, has not phased that dedication, has not phased that conviction, has really not phased the work that's being done in building. So there are true builders out there, I assure you. The technology is being worked on, I assure you. And leaders in the space, technologically, entrepreneurially, right? If entrepreneurially is a word, they are excited, and price is not phasing them. So if there's one thing we can be sure of, it is that there is progression in the space. The foundation for cryptocurrency and the future success of it is there. Now it's just a matter of you sitting at home, wherever you are right now. If you're watching this in your car, if you're at work, I don't know what you're doing, but it's a matter of you kind of zooming out on the charts, right? And you can really you can go to the weekly charts on Bitcoin. You can zoom out, and then you have a decision to make. You have a decision to make. And this is not anything that anybody on YouTube can tell you. It's not anything anybody on Twitter can tell you. It is completely up to you. It's completely up to your financial situation. Please don't take financial advice from people. What are you comfortable doing? How much do you believe in cryptocurrency as an investment over the long term? I think it's way safer to invest in cryptocurrency in the long term. But right now, you see the volatility on the chart, on the weekly chart. You see that we're in the middle of we're right in the middle of the third part of Bitcoin's cycle that it likes to take, which you see on the screen. The 3-part cycle, halving. So far, this is what Bitcoin has done: a halving, right? So we had the 2012 halving you can take, for instance. 1 year later, an all-time high, and then capitulation, correction, step 3, right? So we had a halving in 2016. 1 year later, all-time high, and then following that, we have correction, we have capitulation, and we're living in it right now. It is the toughest phase to live through any market cycle, but also it is the most profitable, and there's the most opportunity in that phase, right? So you can look at the bottom of Bitcoin back here, tons of opportunity. And then you can look at the bottom of Bitcoin right here. Wherever it goes to, who knows? 1,500, 2,500, 3,000? I'm not here to tell you that. But we all know if Bitcoin follows a cycle that it's been, we lead up to 2020 in May of the next halving. And could we see a possible all-time high a year later in 2021? That's the question. Will the cycle continue? I assure you one thing. I just saw it in the comments. The infrastructure is being built, and this game requires patience and some conviction, and just utilize a little bit of wisdom. Throw out the emotions of it all. Sit back and really think about what you want to do if you want to invest in this space or continue to invest in this space, because it's really definitely an important decision to make, right? There's always risk. So find your risk tolerance, do your due diligence, and make your decision. So those are my thoughts. I need to log off this so I can change this thumbnail real quick before I get some serious hate comments for being so inaccurate, which that